Hello and welcome to this episode of Sabbath Worship with Ben. Hope you all enjoy it, and as usual, we'll have a lesson this week. Hope you all will have a blessed Sabbath. In this week's lesson, Paul is speaking to the Thessalonians, and he's talking to them about after his visit to them, where he established a church there. He and those who were with him working to spread the gospel left, and so Paul is writing a letter to them now, the first of the two letters that we have that he wrote. So in this part of the letter we're studying this week, he tells them that he and those with him, his brothers and sisters in Christ, had come to show them how they should live, and through Jesus, how they could live upright lives. And now he was asking them to live even better than what he had originally told them as they were growing and developing in Christ. He asked them to abstain from immorality in relationships with others, and asked them to refrain from the lust that they had, and he mentions how previously they were pagans, they were Gentiles, and they didn't know what they were doing, so they were caught up in their lust, and they did whatever they felt was right. But now God, he says, has called them to a higher calling, to be better than that, so to speak, and to overcome those desires and passions through Jesus. He warns them that if anyone rejects this message, that they'll really be rejecting God, since it's God's message. But he commends them because it says that they have great love for each other and for all the people in Macedonia. But he asks them to restrain their ambitions, to lead a quiet life, and to continue to grow, and to have the kind of life that God asks of them, to be quiet, to work diligently, and he encourages them to continue spreading the message, to continue in their love for all people. Finally, Paul encourages the Christians at Thessalonians by summarizing the message of the gospel. He talks about how Jesus came and how they all have the promise of salvation, which those who are in the world grieve, he says, because they don't have any hope. They're unable to receive the message because they don't believe. But they have the promise that they can, and the hope of Jesus' return. And he encourages them to stay strong, to cling to Jesus, and he asks them to continue in the message so that they can receive of the hope which they all cherish. So he encourages them, and he asks them to continue in the faith. So this week's lesson is really just a message of encouragement. Paul was sending a message to Thessalonians, but he also was trying to encourage them, and he made it clear that his interests were that they grow more in Christ, and that a relationship, and that their experience be improved. That's the lesson for this week, really, is that you should take Paul's advice, abstain from immorality, and to follow God's commands, to cherish love for one another and for all people, and to keep the hope of Christ's soon return. That's all I have for this week. Hope it was a blessing, and I hope you all will stay safe and have a blessed day. Bye.